Hello there, you're most welcome to join me on my YouTube today. We're up at Bolthead Airfield and it's maintenance time for the dear old Luscombe, but first we've got to take it for a flight to because before we change the oil it's quite handy to give the engine a good run. So a quick flight around Kingsbridge Estuary and Luscombe, and then we'll land back and we'll start taking it to bits. So stick around and hope you enjoy the view. Well, before we change the oil on the aircraft, we have to drain it out, but to do that effectively it's best to take the aircraft for a flight. And what better excuse than to, on such a glorious morning as this, to have a fly around Kingsbridge Estuary, warm the engine up, and have a look at the view. It's quite stunning, really. We'll just do a quick 360 around the centre of Kingsbridge Estuary, and then we'll head off back up towards Marlborough, round again over Bolthead, and then back into land at the airfield. As we circle around here, it really is a clear day, and the view towards Dartmoor is quite staggering. And we're just coming round, and Kingsbridge is just coming into view, and it's not often to get to see the estuary so blue and so calm. There's absolutely not a breath of wind, and there's the ridge bridge over the creek, new bridge at Luscombe Creek, and we're just coming round now and back over Garra Rock Hotel, and we're going to make an approach back into land, having warmed the engine up and had a look around at the general scenery. We'll land, get back into the hangar, and we'll get working on the aircraft and start taking it to pieces. It's I have to say, it's one of my specialities. I'm really good at taking bits off. I'm just absolutely rubbish at putting them back on again, so I'm going to need some help with that. And my dear friend Ernie's going to come up and give me a hand and help me put the vital bits back on. Haha, back in the hangar. It's annual maintenance time. These aircraft are under a particular certificate which allows them to have an annual, the equivalent really of a car MOT, and it's time for the dear old Luscombe to have its MOT. And part of that this year involves some radical engine work, and I'm busily stripping bits off because I can take bits off, but I'm rubbish at putting them back on again. So I've got my dear friend Ernie coming tomorrow, and hopefully he'll put the bits back on that I've taken off. That's the plan anyway. But it's a pretty pleasant sunny day up here at Bolthead Airfield. And some people have said, well, why have a maintenance schedule in the middle of the summer? And you know, in all honesty, having done it in the middle of the winter, I think I much prefer doing this sort of work in decent weather. You know, it's up around 20 degrees, it's pleasant, it's dry, reasonably warm, really in the middle of winter, when it's down below 5 degrees, blowing a hoolie, it's not a pleasant place to be up here when it's rattling and shaking and all the rest of it. So I'm quite happy with doing this maintenance this time of the year. It's really, as the old bones get older, yeah, there's some odour around, but as the old bones get older, it's quite pleasant to keep them warm in the winter. What am I talking about? It is quite pleasant to keep them warm in the winter, but it's also quite handy to keep them warm in the summer when you've got weather like this and it's not freezing cold. It's marvellous. It's a lovely time of the year. Well, I just popped out the door and who should I see? And I find this young man, Hugo, who had landed earlier and made a precautionary landing due to the fog, had gone off for a cup of tea and refreshments and has returned now to make his departure. He came down from near Exeter, said it took him about an hour and a half to get down. That's they're not well known for their fast cruising speed or anything. As you can appreciate, it's a motorised hang glider, really. Well, yes, almost. But it's a paraglider with a motor. So quite unusual. Very rarely do we see these guys coming in here. But this was quite an experience and quite interesting to watch him get ready to depart. And as I said in the above commentary, there's a lot of strings there. So and the interesting part is that here he's got the engine strapped on and he's given it full power to and then he always sits back on it, which is quite interesting. And then he'll shortly hook up the ropes to his harness. I mean, this is incredible. I don't know how they don't get completely tangled up. Amazing, really. He very carefully and quietly hitches it all up. And this, the next part, you'll find very entertaining. So he gives a bit of an old blast on the motor, then leans forward. Let's just wait and see. He's putting his gloves on, getting ready to launch. Apparently, there's not too many regulations with this sort of flying, which is quite interesting. Right, headset on, throttle in hand, here we go. Oh my lordy, there's lots of strings there. Whoa. Ready, full power. Start running. Wow. So the parachute is fully inflated and he's off. Oh, lordy me, his legs did some work then. And off he goes. It was great fun to see him. See you again sometime, Hugo. He turns left here, then climbs up a bit, and I thought he was off then, but no, he went a bit further, turned around, and then it looked like he was going to come back and land on the runway, but in actual fact he buzzed off in a westerly direction and headed off towards Dartmoor. Well, I really hope you've found today's short film of some interest. Certainly been some entertainment in one way or another as Hugo departs off to the west and disappears. I did follow him round and he seemed to go off to the west and then he headed north. But when we come back a bit now to the film, we'll just close with a quick look around Bolthead itself. This is kind of midsummer now, last year when they're taking in the crop, and I always find it fascinating to looking out down the old wartime runway and then out to the east there, Bolthead, East Saw Farm, finest cream teas and homemade cakes, only a 5-minute walk from the airfield. So that's always a good reason to fly in and walk down and have a cream tea. It's literally 5 minutes. It's and they're a lovely couple down there, so I can well recommend a visit. But anyway, appreciate you watching, and do have a think about subscribing, would appreciate it, and see you on the next one. Take care, cheers for now.